Welcome to the Haji Daily here on YouTube. So, growing up in Kenya, I used to have a favorite TV show. They used to call it Vioja ya Mahakamani, and here you had people that have committed crimes brought to court and asked some questions by the prosecutor, and the question went like, kuna aina mingi ya kujitetea, utajitetea. Unaweza kujitetea, kuna aina tatu ya kujitetea. Aina ya kwanza ni kunyamaza. Ya pili ni kuongea na kujitetea mwenyewe na kuleta shahidi. Na ya tatu ushtakiwe na ukubali na ufungwe. So from this example, what I'm trying to say is, it's time for election period in Kenya. It's with us, and it's time kujipanga. Watu Kenya wanaanza kujipanga, either through a specific group or within an established system to stand a chance to be elected in Kenya. So there's three ways for you to have a chance to be elected in Kenya. One, you can join a tribal party with a kingpin. You'll never even know, or you'll never even realize that you're a member of a tribal party. You will never know. You won't even know you're about to commit some sort of genocide being in that party now or in the near future in the name of a tribal party. So that's one way you can get into power, or you can be elected in Kenya. With the kingpin blessing as the head of the party, that you're convinced that this is your party, it belongs to you. You'll reap a lot, including cash, gifts, non-material goods such as government jobs, exclusive access to public appointments, and party nomination. And you can see this when these parties win. You can clearly see in who's hired and who's in the government, including also is the government contracts. And also, lastly, your promised development opportunities in your area. You'll also be convinced indirectly that it's a party that will liberate you from the colonial legacy when it comes to land issues as well. So they will tell you, we are the party that will, get your land back. The tribal kingpin and the party will present to you a party also that looks diverse, but is not only sprinkled with one or two people or individuals from different regions of Kenya, so as to give you the impression of diversity in the party. So that's one way you can get elected in Kenya, joining a kingpin and a tribal party. That's one. The other one, which is also important, the established party as well. And I want to go back slightly here so that I can really speak on the issue of diversity and what it means, diversity in the tribal kingpin and the party that they ask you to join. So like I said, it's sprinkled with one or two people from other tribes and other regions to give you the impression of diversity, or purports to represent the interest of other tribes in that block, this one big tribal group. It's written rules that the party outlook is democratic, but it's farther from the truth. It's one tribe party led by one tribal leader that requires loyalty to one leader. And then there's this traditional party with the state resources. This is the ruling party, the state resources and power. First, let me say, in Kenya, the only democratic fair election that happened, that was ever held in Kenya, was the election of NAK and the election of Mwai Kibaki and the removal of Moi. Thereafter, there was no one fair election in Kenya. So that you know what I'm saying. So let's come back to the party in power. The definition of party dominance can be useful and be distinguished by means of 4 criteria. The threshold for dominance, the inclusion or the exclusion of opposition features. So in this established party, they want to get rid of any association with any opposition. In any presidential system of government, the presence or the absence of this can be found in many countries, including Kenya. You can clearly see that the established party, the party that rules, that came to power, just cosmetically reformed itself to come back to power with a different name, different clothes, different individual, but it's the same system from colonial period. So they're not interested in any opposition in that system. They just want that one-party system, and they control the judiciary, or they give the impression of controlling the judiciary, even though the judiciary in Kenya lately can be something that we can be proud of, what they have done, and trying to be independent from the executive. The control of course, of the executive and the parliament as well. So I know we can come back to the control of military, the intelligence, among many other things, even the electoral process. So this is a party established, and that is another way an individual has to win an election in Kenya. So you have to ingratiate yourself or show some sort of loyalty, or either you have an already established connection from your father being parts of other successive governments that are represented. So that gives you an opportunity to be in the established power. So you are in an establishment. Like in the US, you say an establishment, a deep state. So you derive the privileges of your fathers being deep states from independence, and that continues. Only that this time, whenever there is a new election, you come with a different outfit and give promises and some sort of appearance of fairness and justice and democracy. But it's, again, that's farther from the truth. That is another way an individual can get into power in Kenya, or elected in Kenya and established. So the establishment, or through the deep states. And you can see this parties such as Jubilee. You can see it in some sort of ODM, and you can also see in UDA. It's just same people reimagine, restructure themselves, and so that they can stay competitive, and then they define the messages, and mostly they have people that have been in the past but have nothing to do with the liberation of Kenya and fighting for independence through way, like some, and even those that did kind of eliminated, and they got moved out of the way. So this is the party in power structure. That's another way somebody in Kenya can come in to be elected as someone that wants to be as well. And so mostly the convincing work is those who are uneducated, and they are the majority, and so it's easy. One party machine backing you because one person owns the party and decides to sell other shares or own share to the party, does not need real world experience. You don't need real world experience or vision or even a website to articulate what you plan on doing. The party has been in the government or some. And the third one, Nikubahatisha, means to squeeze through, like Kalonzo. The Kubahatisha guy, Kalonzo Musyoka. People who have been left out, these are people who have been left out and thrown out by the other systems of parties, or people that are real about liberation and real about genuine reform, that really want to represent a different Kenya in position of authority, or they're getting elected as a member of parliament, the Senate, the woman rep, or the governor, that are really, really care about Kenya and really want real change in Kenya. Those are the third group of people. That's the third way you can get to power, but rarely happens. You have to be really, really lucky to pita katikati, as Kalonzo would say, a watermelon. It's very difficult. So with that said, I got more. Hopefully next time I'll talk to you about, including how you are being lied to by these successive governments and institutions and structure to maintain the status quo, to maintain power in the hands of a few in Kenya. And hopefully you can join me again. Thank you. This is Haji Daily. This is Yusuf Haji. Thank you.